wasn't going to record this video. I didn't really see the point. Last week, proper struggled to string a sentence together. So I thought the problem was, well, I need to actually start researching a process and learn how to put things together. But then I thought about it, and I thought that wasn't the problem. I planned out what I was planning to talk about, but I couldn't string a sentence together. So it wasn't that I didn't have a structure, there was some sort of structure. It was the fact that I couldn't actually think clearly. And that's still the case. So I was thinking to myself, let's not do this video. But then I thought it was actually maybe insightful and interesting, I might be wrong, to understand why I've thought this way or not thought this way, which is the actual problem. And I notice the signs when, if I go for a walk in the morning, if I can't be creative, if I literally can't think of anything, nothing new springs to mind, then that's a sign for me that I need to back off a little bit. I'm doing too much in some area and there needs to be a bit more space so that I can have this capacity. I should have read the signs of last week. I was away in Newcastle one day and then I was in Scotland the day after, but I still had my normal week. But with the travelling and the intensity of the other days, it meant everything was more crammed in. And then the day after, try and record a video. And what did I expect? Well, I expected it to be clear, but obviously not, because everything's mangled in. The whole week was fucking busy. And then here I am, still not taking any space to sort of recover from that. I don't mean like take a fucking year off or anything like that, just take a little bit of space, have more space in my diary, which hasn't been there, so that I can not be in this position a week later and still not have any clarity and not have any clear thoughts. So, I don't know if this is helpful, but sort of explaining where my head is at with that process and why it is like that. So, I'm going to take the weekend to just get work done as quickly as possible, or get it done early at the weekend, so then I can actually just switch off for a bit, actually relax, and make sure, if I can, next week put a little bit more space in my diary so that I can start getting a bit of creativity back. But that one thing in the morning is how I monitor my head. If you get in the shower, you know, you get them like shower thoughts. I get that on my morning walks, but it's like on crack. So 20 minutes at the start of every day, I go for a walk in solitude. I find that's the most useful time of my day as well. I have a little morning routine, but if I couldn't do everything in my routine, if some days I'm rushed or there's just too much on and I can't do what would be an optimal routine, then I just do the morning walk. And that's it. And that's the best thing I can do to think about my day, think about what problems are coming up, think about anything that I need to. And a lot of this stuff around clarity on thinking and headspace, I guess, would be from Carl Newport. I've got loads of insights from him of how I plan my week, how I plan my creativity, my rest, all of that, which I've implemented from years ago. But one thing that stuck with me, which I don't feel majority of us have enough of or even do at all, because we're scared of our own thoughts basically, is solitude. And he put two stories in there which really stuck with me, and he said there's a massive problem because there's a lack of solitude in the world. Since the iPod, people would basically be in a queue or something like that and they'll put a tune on. Now it's obviously the phone, and it's very rare that someone doesn't have something in their hand or something in their ears. And he wrote a story about, I think it was Lincoln or something like that, when there was a battle on. He used to go to some cabin with all his guards, and it was in the middle of war or something like that, but he purposely on the way back rode on his own, risk of being killed and assassinated, but that time on his own and that time ahead without anyone around and in solitude was more valuable. And even though he could die, it was more valuable to be at the risk of dying, does that make sense, and be in solitude. So it really stuck with me, that. And if you haven't ever done that, try it for a week. Go for a walk for 20 minutes with nothing in your hand, nothing in your ears. I guarantee it'll make so much difference to your day. And you also, when you do it regularly, you'll be able to monitor, like me, when you need to step back a little bit. So then you're not talking about why you haven't done a video. And yeah, hopefully that helps in some way.